Well, thank you for coming this evening. It's really important for us to be able to spend some time with you to help you understand what the college is about. I know that this is an important decision for you as young people and for parents as well. Moving from a school that you've been in for 5 years that may have been great for you is a big decision. So we want to make sure that we help you understand why you should make that decision, but also for some of you, perhaps why you shouldn't. So I want to tell you a little bit about the college so you get a sort of sense of who we are, so you can sort of see if we're going to be right for you. So I'm Mike Kilbride, I'm the principal of the college. In terms of what the college is, let me give you a few facts to start off with. In terms of there we are. In terms of numbers, there are 1,550 students, roughly speaking, who come to the college. I don't know if that's a number that surprises you, so we're not small, we're quite a big institution in that respect. Of those sort of students, well, all of them are in the 16 to 18 age category. So we don't have any adult provision at all. We simply specialise on that age group. Interestingly, about 23% or so of all students studying A-levels on the Wirral actually come here. So we are a big provider in that respect. But that sort of being big doesn't mean sort of say that we're impersonal, and I'll explain why it is that we're not in a few moments. In terms of what it is that we do, we're quite specialist. If you are interested in vocational education, the technical skilled occupations, then Wirral Met down the road is a fantastic college at doing all those sort of technical qualifications. We do academic qualifications. About 80% of our students will go on to university, and the other 20%, a lot of them will go into apprenticeships and some into work. But about 80% or so will be going into university. In terms of where our students come from, well, if you watch this, you'll sort of see your school will inevitably pop up. Because if we've got 1,500 odd students, then of course we're going to be sort of serving pretty much every school upon the Wirral. And so no matter where it is you're coming from, you're going to have some of your friends are going to be coming with you. No matter where you come from, there's going to be students from your school that have come here before. So we are, able to ensure that this is not going to be an experience that you won't have had friends and perhaps family haven't had previous to you. In terms of our outcomes, well, we are a successful institution. The government doesn't publish performance tables, hasn't done for 2 years because of the pandemic, and that was quite right. It wasn't the time to do it. But when performance tables were published up until 2019, the college was always pretty much at the top of them on a regional basis, for the greater Merseyside area. And, we're quite proud of that. We're quite proud of the fact that we're able to help young people achieve their ambitions. As well as that academic success, we are rated as outstanding by Ofsted. In all areas of operation, we are outstanding and have been for a number of years. We've won multiple accolades. We've been Sixth Form College of the Year. We've won accolades and national awards for our social mobility, for our careers work, for pretty much everything we do. We've won a national award for it. I say that not to be boastful. I say that because I want you to understand that when you come here, you come into an institution that is confident in what it does. But what I also know is that whilst that's what we've achieved in the past, that's a standard we set ourselves. So every day when I come into college, that's a standard I'm setting myself in terms of what I'm trying to do. It's a standard that I set for the staff at the college in terms of what they're going to achieve. It's a standard that we, including you, if you're going to be students here, work at day in, day out to make sure that we achieve. Because you know what? All those accolades and awards, they're just bits of paper or plaques. What they also represent are individuals. Individuals who have been successful, who have grown, who have fulfilled themselves, and therefore have opportunities open up. And if that sounds a little bit cheesy, I don't really care. Anybody who in education who does not care passionately for seeing young people grow and develop shouldn't be in the job. And so that's what we take great pride on, seeing young people really sort of like spread their wings and develop themselves. And we have a particular approach. Before I tell you about that, an interesting observation. All of us who work in education, and most people who have been through education, most people will agree with this, and that is that the academic step, the academic leap from GCSEs to A-levels is the biggest leap you will ever make. Now, I don't know if that frightens you, I don't know if that sort of unsettles you, but it is. I hope you're working hard at your GCSEs now. You might be finding them difficult. That's fine. Difficulty is part of learning. And I hope you do really well at them. But the challenge of A-levels is a step up, and then some. It's much bigger than the step you'll make when you go to university if you choose to do that. It's much bigger than any other step you have made in the past. It's a big step you're going to make. And so you want to make sure that you are going to sort of take that leap in an environment which is right for you, which is going to allow you to be successful. Now, I've told you about all those sort of accolades and our published success and all that. But you know, the most important thing, how do we achieve that? How do we get that year in, year out? It's not a flash in the pan, we achieve it every year. How do we do that? Well, it's because we have a particular approach to education that runs right through the college. And let me just sort of spend a little bit of time trying to help you understand that. We are an organisation which has a set of core values. And those core values dictate how we operate. They dictate the policies we have, they dictate the programmes that we have, they dictate how we activate ourselves within them. The first of those values is positivity. Now, by positivity, I don't mean just being, yeah, great, go on, go for it. You know, that's being a cheerleader. By positivity, what I mean is we're positive about what each and every one of you young people can achieve. And that's not because we just want to be nice. It's because we understand what the academic research tells us. Academic research and educational research has attested to this following statement, and that is that talent plays little or no part in academic outcome. Talent plays little or no part in academic outcome. Do you know what makes a difference? It's the amount of effort you put in, but the effort's got to be in the right way. You know, a hamster can go around the wheel putting lots of effort in, it's getting nowhere. So we have to make sure that we make you work hard, but we make you work hard in the right way. So if you work hard and you're diligent and you apply yourself day in, day out, no, you don't start working. If you're doing your GCSEs, right, there's a little bit of advice for you. If you're doing your GCSEs, you know what? It doesn't matter what you do in March or April if you're not working today, tomorrow, and the day after. Constancy of purpose, doing the right thing every day, that's vitally important. It's the same in A-levels, it's the same throughout education. You are going to excel if you work diligently on a day-by-day basis. And that's what it is that makes a difference, and that's what the research tells us. So we are informed by academic research. We're informed by what we know about how the brain processes information, and we know each of you can excel. So being positive about that, being positive about what you can achieve, means that we're going to be ambitious for you. So, you know, you sometimes hear people sort of saying, you know, talking about ambition and what they dream about achieving. You know what a dream is? A dream's a fantasy. It's not real. Ambition is a plan. Ambition is where you want to be at a certain point in time. And the ambition is the plan of how you get there day in, day out. We will work with you to ensure that your plan is fulfilled. We will help you achieve whatever it is you want to achieve by making sure that you put the requisite effort in, but also, and this is vitally important, making sure you're taught by skilled specialists. One of the huge advantages that we have as a sixth form college, and it is a huge advantage, is I said earlier on that we only teach A-levels and A-level equivalent BTECs. That's all we do. And so the people who are teaching A-level biology or physics or chemistry, that's all they do. And so they acquire a real skill at doing it. And they acquire a real ability to see all the nuances of it. They acquire an ability to take students, no matter what their level of understanding is, and bring them along on that journey. Because that chemistry teacher, he's not teaching one period of chemistry and then doing year 7 science and then doing year 8 physics because, you know, they haven't got a physics teacher. They're specialists. And when you're doing something which is demanding, like A-levels, you need specialists. So we can be ambitious for you because we know that we can put you on the right sort of journey. It's not going to be easy. And this is why I say it's really, really important that you understand who we are, what it is we expect. We do not make life easy, but we will always support you. We have high ambition, but those ambitions only means anything if you share it as well. Resilience. None of this matters a bean if it's not backed up by resilience. One of the things that sort of I find quite interesting as a teacher is that sometimes students will say things like, oh, I can't do this, whatever it is. As a teacher, you know what? That excites me. I think fantastic, because you know what? If you can't do that now, my challenge is to make sure you can do it in 10 minutes, a week, a month, whenever it is. When you can't do something, what that shows is a limit of what you currently know. If you want to learn, You've got to keep on pushing beyond that. So not being able to do something is not a bad thing, as long as you have the resilience to stick at the task and carry on working at it. And you will be able to achieve it. Science tells us you can achieve it, but you don't give up. Don't ever give up. It's giving up that ensures that you fail. It's not any limitations in there. It's giving up. We really work hard on helping people become resilient. We're resilient ourselves, and we're going to work with you so you can become resilient. And our final value is thoughtfulness. When we talk about thoughtfulness, we mean it in two different ways. We want you to be thoughtful, like intellectually. So we want you to think about things, to reflect, before you act, to consider, the pros and cons. All that, right? We want you to be academic in the way you pursue things. But I think the second meaning of that word is probably more important. We want you to be thoughtful as human beings in the expression of being kind to each other. I take great pride in this being an institution which is very, very welcoming. We have no truck for any form of discrimination or prejudice or any nonsense like that. We're welcoming. We do judge you. God, we judge you every single day. But we judge you on the way you present yourself to us. On the way in which you present yourself to us. That's the only judgment we'll ever make. And then what we want to do is work with you to make you the best version of yourself that you want to be. So we take pride in this being a calm, deliberate, hard-working institution. We take great pride in this statement here, and that is that academic performance is not a function of what you are, but what you do. And we know that we can work with you day in, day out to ensure that the second part of that allows you to be successful. In terms of rules, we have rules. We have a set of requirements. They're not particularly onerous. They're just fairly simple things. Turn up, do your work, be attentive and be decent. It's not particularly sort of irksome. But what I will say, and this again, you want to know who we are and what we are. We do expect those to be adhered to. When you come to college, you get a certain level of freedom. But those requirements are requirements. They're not options. So this is a place where people engage seriously in what they do. It's a calm place. It's a welcoming place. It's a place where people have fun. But it's also a place where people are able to excel within a framework, within an environment which encourages that. So, a couple of other things about how we structure. The timetable. Most people will be doing 3 subjects when you come, and that's what you're going to sort of be looking at later on this evening in due course. Typically, in sixth form education, we always count things in minutes in education. It's just something we do. Typically, if you are studying, say, an A-level in psychology, I'll use psychology. I'm a psychologist, by the way. If you're studying psychology A-level, or any A-level, then you'll study that for 240 to 270 minutes a week. So it's very different from GCSEs, where you probably have half the time in any subject. But you're only doing 3 subjects, so you've got to spend a lot of time on them, and they are very demanding, so you've got to spend a lot of time to, get on top of them. So that's about 4 to 4.5 hours. That's typically, if any other sixth form in the world, that's typically what they'll do. Because we are a specialist institution, because that's all we do, and we're able to, muster our resources to ensure that we give the best support we can for students, we're able to extend that. At this college, for each subject, you have 330 minutes with your teachers, 5.5 hours. Now, that seems a lot, but believe you and me, it's not a lot when you're trying to get through the demanding specifications of A-levels. But what it does mean, when you've got that amount of time, it means the teacher can attend to everybody, can push everybody, can explain things, can test, can assess, can support, can also make the lessons fun. There's time to make them fun. And God, if you don't enjoy education, you shouldn't be in it. If you don't enjoy teaching your subject, you shouldn't do it. I'm of the opinion that psychology is the best subject in the world, and really it's the only subject anybody else should teach. Everybody who teaches a different subject, they should have the same view about their subject, because that's what makes the difference, the passion you have for it. So we ensure that you have enough time to develop yourself, to enjoy the subject, to explore, to be assessed, to ensure that every single person progresses. Moving on, beyond the curriculum, just a couple of things on that. I said earlier on that I understand that for some of you it's going to be a significant move from going from school to this, big new college. We understand that, and we put an awful lot of time and effort into that transition to support you. But you know what? In life, sometimes you've got to move on. Sometimes you've got to make the big decisions. But it's easier to make those big decisions if you know you're going to be well supported. So this is our, what we call our pastoral team, our student development team. They're our tutors. And what those tutors are the people who are going to support you as individuals. So they're the people that will support you to settle into college. They'll support you in your time in college. These are the people who will help you make your applications to university. They're all very experienced in that. And that's, university applications are really complicated. You've got to make sure you get that right as well. All they do is pastoral work. They don't teach subjects. They're specialists in pastoral work. So you have your subject teachers and then you have your pastoral tutor. What they are also, for you parents in the audience, they're the point of contact for you, the first point of contact. You'll have contact with the subject teachers as well. But if you ever need to share information or just have an inquiry or just want to touch base, they'll always be there for you, end of an email or pick the phone up. So we take great pride on working really hard at that transition to ensure that you're going to make the move from school to college a comfortable one. And then in terms of when you are here, we have lots of opportunities for wider participation. Yeah, I keep on banging on about, A-levels are tough and man, you've got to put a lot of time into them. They are, but I hope I've also stressed that they're enjoyable and they should be enjoyable. But what we also want you to do is when you're here, we want you to try some new things, try some different things, expand your horizons. And so there's so many different opportunities. You can join the anime club. I think that's some sort of Korean-y, cartoony type thing. I don't really know. I'm not a member of that club. You can join the choir. You can join the debating society. Our debate team actually won a big competition in Liverpool last night, where they beat a couple of private schools, which we're very proud of. So there's loads and loads of opportunities. Get involved, widen your horizons, and have a bit of fun. It's got to be enjoyable. And finally, we also like to sort of think of ourselves as being a bit innovative. We also have college dogs. I don't know if you've seen any of them. Which one's the cutest one, by the way? Is it the one in the middle? Yeah, it is. It is. No, if you think it's someone else, you're wrong. It's the one in the middle. That's my dog. But, I think we are an innovative institution. We've done a lot of things in terms of the psychology of education, in terms of educational research, which were always ahead of their time. And we also like to think we just do things that are a bit left field. The college dogs actually make a huge difference. Students who are a bit anxious sometimes for exams spend 5 minutes with the college dog, and so many times they just feel better for it. Sometimes when I'm wandering around the college, the principal's there, and people tend to be a bit frightened by the principal and head teacher, aren't they? Aren't they? Oh. Yeah, come on. We're nearly at pantomime season, so you can join in a bit of audience participation. But if I'm what got the dog, it means people can approach me. It means that students will come and stroke the dog, say hello to the dog, and I can strike up a conversation. It's breaking down barriers. So, and again, I'm saying that just a little example of we want to make sure that this is a different experience for you. That it's an experience which is challenging, an experience which is successful, but one which is going to be a bit more homely as well, and have a whole variety of different experiences going on. So, last thing I want to sort of say is that this is going to be a fresh start for you. It's going to be a challenging start, but it's going to be a really, really exciting opportunity. Now, in terms of applications, as you know, there's shortages of everything at present, isn't there? Whether it's Christmas trees, or was it turkeys or wine or beer, whatever it is. There's not a shortage of places at the college, but we do have more people applying to come to the college than places that we have. So what I would sort of say to you is that make sure you get your application in as early as you can, because the way we deal with it is that we always interview and then offer places on the basis of when you put your application in. And so if you're uncertain about the course you want to do, don't worry about that. Put the courses you think you want to do down. You can always change them further down the line. But I don't want to sort of frighten you. You don't have to get it in tonight or tomorrow, but just make sure you get it in, before Christmas would be great, February half term ideal, and you'll be absolutely fine as long as you've done it by then. So spend the rest of the evening, get to know the college. I hope that this place is going to be right for you. I think it is for many of you. But understand who and what we are, and then commit to coming here and enjoying your time at college.